Getting subscribers is just the first step, but keeping them is where the magic and the money really is. In this episode, I'm breaking down the simplest ways to keep your subscribers coming back month after month. No fancy tech, no complicated funnels, just real doable strategies that work. If you want less churn and more happy subscribers, this episode is for you.
Welcome to the Launch Your Box podcast with weekly tips, tricks, and strategies to start, launch, and grow your subscription box. Now, here's your host, Sarah Williams.
Welcome back to the Launch Your Box podcast. Today, we're going to talk about the subscriber growth strategy that really nobody talks about. And that strategy is called retention. And we're going to start this episode by really understanding the difference between retention and acquisition, because retention is the real numbers game. So many subscription box owners are kind of obsessed with getting that new subscriber, right? Like they're always chasing the acquisition. They're always looking for that new subscriber. But the truth is that keeping our subscribers is where the real growth happens. So if you look at acquisition focused boxes, they are constantly refilling subscribers. It's just a constant hamster wheel of refilling anything that's done. And some people have a lot of success with that, but there's not growth there. They're only filling their leaky bucket. A retention focused subscription box can really rely on the long-term sustainable growth that comes with it, because not only are you keeping subscribers longer, then when you work on acquiring, you're able to grow. If you're just in acquisition mode all the time, you're probably just refilling every single month. We focus on acquisition just a few times a year for my subscription box. And really the hard work comes in between. So if I do 2 big launches for my subscription box a year, the other 10 months out of the year, I'm really dialed in and focused on retention. So we're going to talk about that in this episode today. If you're a note taker, I definitely want you to take some notes today, because I've got some simple strategies that I'm going to share with you. Now, the real cost of acquisition focused businesses versus retention focused businesses is that statistics show us that it costs 5 to 7 times more to get a new subscriber than it does to keep an existing subscriber. We're talking about paid ads, special promotions, bonuses, affiliates, and partnerships. Those are all focused on acquisition, and they cost time, energy, and money. And while we have to focus on acquisition in our business, it should not be our sole focus. So we shouldn't only be relying on paid ads, promotions, and partnerships on a regular basis to keep our business afloat. Retention is where the real profitability lives. Every month a subscriber stays, it equals a higher lifetime value and more stable income. Let me help you understand that. If I am a acquisition focused subscription box business, I am pouring my money and my resources into acquiring that customer, right? And that can be costly. It may cost me, say, $70 or $100 to acquire a customer every time. And if I'm only just acquiring that way and I don't have a retention strategy, it's going to cost me a lot of money to maintain my subscription box. On the other hand, if I could just look at retaining my subscription people longer and having a retention strategy, that means that $100 that I use to acquire that customer, I'm going to get more money back, and it's going to be more profitable because they're going to stay longer. Churn drains your energy and revenue. And honestly, it really drains your focus. If you have constant churn, you just kind of feel stuck in your business. If you gain 20 subscribers this month, but lose 18 of them, your business is not really growing. You're just stuck on that hamster wheel that we were talking about. So focusing only on acquisition is like just pouring water into that leaky bucket. But focusing on retention duct taping those holes in your bucket. Okay. Retention really stabilizes your cash flow. It has built in reoccurring revenue that you're going to be able to really count on. Higher retention rates help you with better forecasting of numbers, smarter inventory planning, and a lot less stress. So, I want to talk about a moment where the acquisition was really rough for me. So I did a launch last September and we had a great launch. And this was my acquisition focused month right here. So I told you I do that a couple times a year. So I'm solely focused on acquisition. We were gaining subscribers so fast. I was having a huge launch. I was bringing in hundreds and hundreds of new subscribers. But then I immediately felt deflated the next month when I lost almost as much as I gained. And it was challenging for me because I wasn't going after the right customer. I was going after any customer. I was just focused on acquiring them, and I really wasn't focused on retaining them. And so it really forced me to think differently about launches and about how many people I want to acquire in a launch. If I acquire less people in a launch, but I keep them longer, it's so much more profitable. So that's shifted my focus. I recently launched my Monogram box. And I had a great launch. I hit over 300 new subscribers, and now the game is how can I retain them? And that's a super big focus for me right now, knowing what I know from the last launch. So I want you to think about this. If you could increase your average subscriber um, length of stay, like, their how many months they stay, even by 3 more months, tell me what that would mean for your business growth. I want you to really think about that. So, for an example, if your average subscription is $40 and you added 3 more months to the lifetime of that, that's another $120 that you've added to that. Now, let's just multiply that by just 50 subscribers. That's $6,000 more without having to find a single new subscriber. Do you see what I'm saying? It is a long-term play. It is a sustainable business play, and that's why we're talking about it today. Retention is an investment in your future business. The energy that you spend creating this great experience will pay you back exponentially over time. Your future thriving business isn't built on 1,000 one-time sales, but it's built on 100 loyal fans who stay, who engage, and who cheer you on month after month. So let's dig in on how we can keep them longer. If we set a goal today saying, okay, Sarah, I want to keep my subscribers 3 months longer, and that is a goal that I'm going to put forth in my business. How do we do that? I've got some really simple strategies for you, and I want to talk about them with you so that we can really have a game plan when you get off this podcast. I want you to understand that we've got to create an experience and not just a box. If people just wanted to buy products, they would run over to Amazon, shop for what they wanted, throw it in their cart, and be done with it. But what makes them stay with you month after month? That's the experience that you create. I mean, let's be honest. In most of our subscription boxes, there's not anything that they can't find anywhere else. So, what makes them give them their credit card, give you their credit card, and say, hey, charge me every single month? That's the heart of our retention. Great products will bring them in. They'll see something on an ad, they'll see something in their feed, they'll see something on your website. That brings them in, but that's not going to keep them. The great experience is what keeps them. So let's talk about this. People remember how you make them feel, not what you gave them. Okay. The unboxing experience needs to really feel intentional, like it was made just for them. So let's talk about these 3 pillars I have for your subscriber experience. And number 1 is community. Number 2 is surprise and delight. And number 3 is consistency. So let's kind of deep dive into those 3 pillars for our retention strategy. So let's talk about community. Okay. There's a couple different ways that you can do this. You can do private Facebook groups. You can do subscriber only lives or podcasts. You could do early access drops just for your subscribers. Like, how can you make them feel like they are the VIP of your business? We need our community to feel like VIPs of our business. I had a podcast episode recently. It's probably been a few weeks ago where I had two of my mastermind students that were on, and they shared how they hit $1 million for the first time in their business last year. Go find that episode. But both of them had such a strong community, and that's what keeps them going. That's how they made $1 million last year. So I want you to think about how you can create a community around your subscription box. I don't have a private Facebook group. I do give them early access on some things, but here's another way that you can create community. You can ask for their opinions, let them vote, make them feel like they're part of this process. It creates belonging, and it just keeps people around. Okay, I want to share like an example for you, but I was sending text this week into my text group, and I had a text that was sent to me, and it was one of my long-term subscribers, and she had sent me a picture of her and two other ladies with her, and they were all wearing t-shirts from my t-shirt club. And I could tell one of them was really old, one of them was recent, one of them was a few years old. And she said, I went outside to help my neighbor with her car at the end of the driveway and realized she had on one of your t-shirts. And I knew instantly that she was part of your t-shirt club. And then my other neighbor came out and she also had one of your t-shirts. It was such a community driven conversation then, because now they shared something in common, and she didn't realize this about her neighbors. They took a picture together, they sent it to me, and that's what I'm trying to get here. We need to figure out how to create a community. And it's hard when you say, well, I just sell products. Well, me too. But do you see how those three women coming together felt like a community? When someone feels like they're part of something bigger than themselves, they're less likely to cancel on you. Now let's dig into pillar number 2. This is where the surprise and delight comes along. There's lots of things that we can do here. I love doing surprise and delights. I do them several times a year. So this could be a bonus item in the box. I recently celebrated my 8-year anniversary box with adding a bonus item in their box. All subscribers got it. It was a way to have fun and to share and to build some excitement. We've done coupon codes and gift certificates in their boxes before. We've done handwritten notes, any personal touch that basically says, I see you, this is for you. And these don't need to be expensive. They just need to feel thoughtful. So like my bonus item, it wasn't just a random item I had laying around. I purchased it specifically to go with that box. It matched everything in the box. And I explained to them that it was a bonus item. And the goal here is to make subscribers excited to open your box, because they never know exactly what fun extras might be inside. That's why we also do mystery box. Like we don't show them before they get it. They love the surprise of not knowing what's coming to their door before they get it. And so I want you to think about how you can add something, a surprise and delight, several times throughout the year. We did a gift certificate in their December box so they could shop. No, maybe it was November. We did something around November or December. So they had a gift certificate. They had dollars to go shop in the store and buy a gift for someone or for themselves. And so I want you to think about different moments throughout the year that would be great to surprise and delight your subscriber. Now, pillar number 3 is all about consistency. So we have to be consistent with when we deliver. That keeps our subscribers. We have to be consistent about our branding. When my turquoise box shows up on their door, That is consistent. We have to be consistent in our communication. Sometimes things happen and we have to be consistent with it. The more reliable the experience is, the more trust they build with you and the more likely they are to stay. If they don't know what's going on, if they haven't seen their box come through, if they don't have any communication, um, that's a problem. I've had, several different subscription boxes over probably the last 10 years, and communicating is the key. I've had boxes just like FabFitFun, lots of products, but nothing felt intentional. It didn't feel like an experience. It felt like a box of stuff that they just randomly threw together, and it was too much stuff, honestly. It became overwhelming because I couldn't consume all the things and nothing was really meant to go together or make me feel like it was a good experience. Then I've had this dermatology box and I've had it for years. I can't remember if it comes bi-monthly or quarterly, but every couple of months I get a box. And what I love about this box is that everything is intentional. Everything is seasonally driven. So it's a dermatology box, it's skincare. And I struggle with that. And that's why I was looking for something. I struggle not knowing what to use on my skin. And as I'm getting older, that becomes more important. I don't have a routine, I don't have like anything like that I do over and over again. So I subscribed to this dermatology box thinking I would get products that I don't necessarily know or how to use or what to use. And I would be able to sample some products. But there's inserts in these boxes that explains why I need them. This helps with this. This helps with this. I just put this serum on my hands this morning because it's supposed to erase age spots. Hello, I need that. I wouldn't even know what to look for in a store for that. And so everything comes intentionally. The inserts explain why I need these products, what they will help with, and how to use them. And it provides a skincare routine for me that changes for seasons because in the winter you need different stuff, in the summer you need different stuff, in the spring or the fall. Otherwise, for me, I would just be researching all of this and probably never buy it because I would be overwhelmed by it. And so this box feels really, really intentional and it's a great experience. I can open up the seasons box. It's going to talk about what the season brings for our skin, what I need, why I need it, and how to use it. So I want you to think about the consistency, the intentionality of how we communicate with our subscribers, how we provide information for them, how we deliver it on time, and how we are very consistent with our branding. Okay. So I want you to ask yourself, what kind of experience are you really offering your subscribers right now? If you opened your box as your own customer, would you be excited? Would you feel like it was meant for you? Would you feel like you understood the concept of what was coming in that box and that you genuinely created an experience with that? And then where in your process could you add just a small touch of a surprise and delight? Okay. I want you to think about this for a moment. Maybe you're thinking of some things. I want you to jot those down if you're taking notes. But I want you to think about this, okay? Your subscribers aren't staying because you shipped them the perfect box. They're staying because you created something meaningful that they want to be part of. And if you feel like you're lacking that right now, I want us to dig into that, okay? Let's talk about communication because I touched on it a little bit in that third pillar with consistency, but our communication keeps our customers engaged. One of the biggest reasons that subscribers leave is that they stop feeling connected to you. Regular communication keeps you top of mind and part of their regular routine. Like I have this group of subscribers that come from over an hour away, and they make a day of it. They drive into town, they come pick up their boxes, they go have lunch, they do some shopping, but I'm part of their routine. Seeing my box on your doorstep comes part of your monthly routine. So I want you to think about this for any subscriptions that you have. Do you receive regular communication from them? Because if you don't, you probably feel disconnected, right? And so retention isn't always about what's inside the box, but it's about that conversation that you keep going between deliveries. I saw this quote the other day and I thought it was so important, but it said, "Silent brands lose subscribers." Let me repeat that. Silent brands lose subscribers. If a customer only hears from you once a month when their box ships, they start to forget about you. People don't cancel because they're disappointed. People don't cancel because they're angry. They kind of cancel out of indifference. If you're not showing up, you're forgettable. And forgettable subscription boxes don't get renewed. So, how do you make yourself unforgettable? That's the challenge I want to pose to you. And we can do that in a couple different ways. Okay. You know, I love email. I'm all about the email. So, number one, email. It's really your number one communication tool. I want you to send weekly updates about your subscription box so that it is top of mind for not only your subscribers, but for those non subscribers too. I want you to keep it really simple, and I've got some ideas for you, but I also want you to make it feel personal. Like it's a note from you. Like, and I even have like a little handwritten signature on my emails. We don't want it to be kind of a corporate stuffy brand email. Okay. I have this new email series that I've been doing for about 6, 8 months now. It's called my Hot Mess email series. And I send it out every Sunday. And I just have a format on it. And it's like what I'm doing, what the warehouse is doing, an update on your subscription, and something new and fun in the shop. And so that's the format. But those get really high open rates because people are curious about what I'm doing. But I want you to start to get more personal with your emails. And I want you to make sure that you have a weekly email dedicated to your subscription going out every single month. And you're like, I don't even know what I would write about in an email, Sarah. I got you. I got you. I've got some ideas. And these are ones that I use, and I kind of threw in some more. But one email we do every single month is an email unboxing. So we do it right after I go live. I do the live unboxing, and then we just take that and we convert it into an email unboxing. Here's the first piece. This is why I chose it. It's the same thing that I say live. We put that in an email format because there's a lot of people that will never watch your live, but they may open an email from you. So an email unboxing. I always love to do a sneak peek for the next box. Okay. So the week after I do the unboxing, then the next week I'll do a sneak peek email. I'll tease what's happening. I'll show the sneak peek. I love that. That's always, so there's two right there out of 4 weeks. You could do a behind the scenes. Maybe we have a lot of behind the scenes because it's not just about packing all the time, but it's about personalizing. So you could do some behind the scenes of making, packing, shipping, anything that you do behind the scenes, designing. Those would be great emails. So that's email option number 3. Behind the scenes. We also do a style guide for our t-shirt club. So that's an email that we send out every month. So you could do, if you don't have anything that you style or decorate with, you could do a how to use this. You could do a how to email with something from your current box or even a past box. We could do a last chance to join. So we usually do this about 48 hours before the cutoff day for our payments. Last day to join, you could put some different things in that email. And then another option would be like a subscriber testimonial or social proof email. This could be from feedback that you've gotten that month. Why I love the monogram box. That could be an email. I mean, there's 6 options and you only need 4. So if you took those and just created a weekly email bank, it's great, especially if you have a monthly subscription, because then you just rinse and repeat it for the next month. You're going to have a different unboxing. You're going to have a different sneak peek. You'll have different style guide or how to. You'll have a different kind of behind the scenes. So you could really tweak these to fit your subscription box. But what I want to see you do is to pick like one day a week that you're going to consistently, like every Wednesday or every Sunday or whatever that day is, you'll pick one day and that will be your subscriber email day. Okay. So send it to your whole list, subscribers and non subscribers, and really create that excitement about your subscription box and creating that communication. Now, the other way that we communicate is social media. And I know this becomes a challenge, but there's no better way for someone to get to know you than on social media. Show your face, show the process, ask questions, make subscribers feel included before they ever open a box. You can do polls, you can do countdowns, you can do this and that. You could do reels, static posts, like stories, all the things. But really get your subscribers involved and really make sure you have a consistent subscription box social media plan so that it stays top of mind for them. And then there's those direct touches, right? The direct touches are really the handwritten cards, the surprise and delight, social shares. If they're sending you, just like I told you, my t-shirt subscriber with her neighbors, we're posting that on our page. I want her to feel seen. I want them to feel heard. And anybody that's not part of that subscription, I want them to see that we have this awesome community of subscribers that they're a part of. And so I want you to get them involved. We also just recently, for our last month, I designed 4 t-shirts on the same color shirt, the same ink colors, just different designs. And I did a poll and I let them choose the design. I said, here's your 4 design options. I created a theme. It was around kindness. So all the sayings on the shirts were about kindness. And then I let them choose the design. And the one that they picked was not the one I was going to pick if it was up to me. Now, I don't have to do that every month, but if I sprinkle that in a few times a year, they feel directly involved. It feels like a personal touch. Those people that voted for the design that one feel like they handpicked that design. So I want you to feel like you're communicating with them and that they're part of your story. And those are those direct touch points that we're talking about. Subscriber loyalty is something that you have to work on, and it's something that you have to work on over and over again. And so it's a big part of your retention plan. If you want people to stay, you need to build reasons in for them to stay intentionally. So if I were to ask you right now, hey, what's your retention plan for your subscription box? Most subscription box owners would say they don't have a plan. They don't have a dedicated plan for this. And so that's where we're talking about this today because it's so important. And I've got just a quick little simple framework for your retention strategy. So you're like, yeah, I have a retention strategy. And a lot of these things you might be doing unintentionally. But I want you to feel confident that you have a retention strategy plan. Okay. So let's start with monthly. We want to create more subscriber touch points monthly. This is weekly subscription emails, and I want you to send it to everyone on your list, not just subscribers. I want you to be consistent with your social media posts. And so that means that you have a game plan to be posting about your subscription every single week. And I want you to have face to camera connection, whether that is static post, whether that's reels, whether that is live video. I want you to have a face to camera connection. Also, let's talk about a quarterly plan. So I want you to do that monthly. And then quarterly, I want you to think about how you can add a small bonus to one of your subscription boxes. We do this a few times a year. I want you to think about a coupon or a gift certificate. You could even run like a loyalty giveaway where your longtime subscribers are automatically entered. I want you to think about that, how you can add some bigger touch points, bigger surprise and delights on a quarterly basis. And then ongoing, I want you to think about up-leveling the unboxing experience, making it about how they feel instead of about the products, okay? If I asked to see your retention plan right now, would you have one? And if you don't, you can put one together right now, okay? It's how will I communicate with them this month? How will I surprise or reward them this quarter? And how do I continue to build consistency and community into my subscription box on a regular basis? And if you focus on those things, you're going to start to see an increase in retention. If I can get my lifetime value to increase by 3 months, that's a huge win for my business. If I can get my retention rate to be increased by 1%, that's a huge win for your business. Retention isn't about luck. It is planned. We've got to create an experience that matters more than just shipping a product. And communication is what keeps customers engaged and not just emails. So, building a loyal customer base doesn't just happen overnight, but if you start focusing on connection, communication, and consistency right now, a year from today, your subscription box will look completely different, and so will your business. I'll be back with another episode next week.